Haira.
Thank you, Patience. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It's always a pleasure for me to be with you.
Really? Because you have a story that fits for every storyline we have. You have experienced a little bit of everything, but today we just want people to be familiar with where you're coming from, the fact that you're single and you're satisfied and you're successful and you're working your path, so you can inspire women who are shrinking back because they seemingly have not yet found that special someone. So first off, Haira, people know you as the successful businesswoman.
Yeah.
Before then, where were you born and how was your childhood?
Haira, I'm from the northwest region of Cameroon, specifically from a small village called Ndou. Ndou is like the interior of Bamenda. And I was born in a polygamous home, and we all know the realities of polygamy, especially on that side. And when my mom died, it was never easy because I had to live with my stepmoms and who were never good to me. And then my dad was all I had, and life was okay until the crisis came and it became insecure. I started people were moving left and right, so I had to leave and for safety, for shelter, and I found myself in Yaoundé. Yeah. And when I got to Yaoundé,
how did you find yourself in Yaoundé? Having a home to live in, comfortable. How was it like? When
I came here, I got a job as a housemate. Yeah. So that's how I started as a housemate in the family here in Yaoundé, and it was still very difficult, but I had to exchange my services for my education. So they sent me to school, and at the same time I do all their chores, like wake up early, like work like domestic slavery. But finally it became unbearable, so I had to leave, and I found myself on the streets of Yaoundé.
You left without having a place to stay?
No, I've been on the streets for a very long time, so I'm a street kid.
How long were you on the streets?
I was on the streets for like 5 months before I met an uncle who was...
Don't be fast with that. Wait a minute. Streets?
Yes, streets.
Young woman? Insecurity?
Yeah.
How did you handle all of that?
I still wanted to go to school, so I just wake up in the morning and just wash my face. Sometimes I showered in school.
Okay.
And when I get to school and back from school, I need to hustle. Like, you just wander around. If people have chores in their houses, you wash dishes, and at the end of the day, they give you food, or you carry water. I could sell water in Nguso and other places. It's a long... If we start talking about it, Patience, I might start crying, because when I look at my past, it's been very, very hard. And
you know what? There are some people who may be going through that.
Yeah.
I know you're tough, but then when experience comes back to your mind, it's not easy. It's overwhelming. But I just need to understand one thing.
Yeah.
How did you survive the nights in the streets?
The nights, I remember my first night was in an uncompleted building. It was so cold. It was the slightest noise, I woke up because I was scared I could get raped. Yeah. God was there too, because after a week, it never felt like the streets. The streets became home, you know. But I knew there was something telling me, like, this is not where I belong. I belong somewhere greater. Okay. I'm going to be successful.
You always believed that?
I always believed that. I didn't know how, because, some people would say, no, if you want to succeed in the city, you need to know people. You need to be a son of somebody or a daughter of somebody. I was like a daughter of nobody in Yaoundé, but something told, I knew that I believed that I was destined to be great.
There's this conviction, that we take for granted so many times. That conviction that is deep down in you, that you know what you have to do. Yeah. And sometimes it just takes the guts to follow through with that conviction. So what was the turning point? The
turning point is I managed. It's like I said, it's a long journey that if we start talking about it, we might need like a whole week. It can be a series. It could be a movie. Yeah. So since I was living with my mom, she had a restaurant, so I could cook very well. Even as a housemaid, like the food I make was wow. So one day I said, okay, I'm gonna do Aero and start selling. And
what was the budget?
My budget was 10K. After saving up and saving up and saving
Your budget was 10,000 francs.
10,000 francs. That's what I had. And I was thinking, what can I do with 10,000? And I said, okay. My mom, I remember she used to do food in the village, and this is how she did it. And I started doing the same thing. And I did this food. I went to a garage in Obili and I started selling, and people ate and they liked it. Everyone appreciated the food I cooked. And then before 1 o'clock, all my food was finished. So I went back home. Let me say home, because I already had a home by then. I was living from one house to another, you know. So I went back and I was like, oh wow, it's interesting. And I did another one again. The next day, I could come up with my head. Before 11 o'clock, I'm already out on the streets, like cooking the food. And then finally, there was this particular bar in Polytech, where I had a lot of customers. So I went to this guy, the owner of the bar, and I offered him my services. I said, brother, because he was English speaking like me, I said, okay, if you can allow me sell my food in your bar, then you don't need to pay a service. I would be your sales girl. I would do all your errands. Like,
that was smart.
Oh yeah. So I proposed him a deal. Like, I do his errands, I serve in his bar, I take care of his customers, and then I clean, I do everything he wants.
Just sell my food.
Just sell my food. He said yes, that's a good deal.
Great.
And I did it with all my best. Like, I gave him the energy. I do it with a lot of passion. And this is how finally, from that bar, every day I was making a profit of at least 15K, because I could
every day.
Every day.
Full business. Here we go.
Yeah. So I didn't just do Aero. Now I did other meals. I could do fufu and jama. I could do achu, you know. And then from these meals, I could. That's a lot of money from a street kid who could not even feed with 200 francs or 100 francs.
Yeah.
So I could just cross across a bank and save up. What saved me is that I know how to save up. If I have like 50, I can starve myself and save up, because I know where I'm going. I know I will need it tomorrow more than I need it today.
And so the thing that is intriguing is people are looking at you right now.
Yeah.
You have a big restaurant,
Yeah.
one of the most popular in Yaoundé, and they don't know where you are coming from.
Yeah.
But we have seen the fact that you were perseverant, you had a vision, you followed through, you took a hold of the opportunities that came your way, and now you're building a big business for yourself, because I know this is not where it's ending, because you keep pushing yourself every time. But then there's this aspect that I want to look at.
What's
you are
that?
Successful, just like, what's that? You're successful and you're single.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me about the approach. You being a businesswoman, wanting opportunities. Do people question you because of that singleness?
A lot.
Tell us about that.
You know, there are people that we're in a society where being a woman is a problem, being young is a problem, being single is a problem, because people start questioning your sexuality. There are people that say a lot of shit about me. I could say sometimes when you're financially independent, you start seeing having no need to have a man in your life. Ooh. But it's true, we need it. I'm not like saying it's the right part. But for me, I'm very happy being single, because I'm too busy for a relationship, firstly. And secondly, I love myself so much. So sometimes I enjoy, when I'm not working, I want to be alone, like my time, Haira time.
Yes.
You know, I want to do what I want to do. I'm like the driver of my own car. I don't need a man to drive it for me, you know.
Yes.
So I control my life. I can do what I want. I take my own decisions, and then it's fine. I enjoy it.
Maybe tell us a little bit about how men have approached you being a successful single woman. What is their reaction to that? Firstly,
most of the men are scared, because they be like, no, that's not my level. She's too...
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, because, you know, today... before, I was ashamed to say where I come from, my story. Especially when I started media, I've been a TV host.
Yeah.
I think I've hosted a program here for CRTV, for other channels. So when I started, you know, this thing that you're not proud of who you are.
Yeah.
But today, my success has pushed me to tell my story, so that people watching can believe and understand that yes, it's possible to make it from nothing, that it's possible to come from nowhere and get somewhere, that it's possible to be a lady, and then you succeed without a man, because men never really helped me. So it's not now that I would need a man, you know. But I pray that maybe one day I find a person that will love me and cherish me.
That's the idea. But you know, the point is you need to be happy with who you are today in order to be happier tomorrow when you're accompanied.
If you cannot be happy with yourself, then I don't think you'll be happy with someone.
Yeah.
So firstly, I love myself so much. I'm the driver of my own life, and I'm very happy, especially with my success. I have my business to run. I have a kid to take care of and pour all my love on. So men is just it's like a secondary priority.
Yes.
It's not really something like to be so crazy about.
But there are times when maybe you want to strike a business deal and it's like you have to be a Mrs. to qualify for that.
Yeah.
How do you get around it?
It's kind of yeah, that's true. That's a reality that comes with the territory. That's why I never stop working hard. Like I want to work too hard and get to a point where I don't even need to introduce myself. Like when I get somewhere, they already know that's Haira. You know, that's the target I'm looking at reaching. You know,
Haira, I want to find out, how do you deal with the work you're doing and raising your child as a single mother? That must be heavy for you.
Yeah, it's very heavy. It's very heavy. But my child is like one of my best friend is my son. He's 8 years old and he understands me. You know, God is always good because he gives me a kid that really understands the situation. And I have special days that no matter what business or it's my son time, I have my son day, I have to pick him up from school, I have to drop him up to school, and it's yeah, sometimes like attending his school meetings and stuff. Maybe I have business meeting and school meeting at the same time.
Yes, good clash.
It's not easy, but I'm doing my best and my son really understands me.
Let's get even deeper. Are there times when you feel like you need a male figure in the life of your son, knowing that he's a boy and he will want to see how another man is?
Yeah, as it's true. I'm in good terms with my son's father, so if he needs his father, it's okay. You can spend time with your son. That's your son.
Great.
I won't deprive him of that because even if it didn't work between him and I, he's a good man and he's still there for his child. So
beautiful. And what do you tell women who are trying to build a business and are hoping that they can do it solo and successfully like you?
What I can tell women who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs or business women is that if I'm here today, if I'm where I am, the successful Haira you see today, is because I never gave up. I kept on falling many times. It was at some point it was like there's no hope, there's no way you're gonna get there. But I believed in where I was going, and I never gave up. So if you are aspiring to be a businesswoman, then one thing you should write down right now is never to give. It's gonna be very difficult, but you have to keep fighting, keep going, falling forward. And secondly, it comes with a lot of patience. No success is built overnight. I didn't just wake up and became rich. I didn't wake up and became a owner. You see, Gramland, I think you've been in Gramland.
I've been there.
Gramland is like, wow, the talk of the town, and I'm happy with the result. And when I even started Gramland, no one believed in what I was doing. It sounded very stupid. It sounded crazy.
Big.
Big.
Like she's too ambitious.
Voila.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, how can she even pull up such a... How is she going to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
We would watch and see where she gets. But I believed in it. And I kept on going because I knew, like I said, I believed in what I'm doing. I knew I was destined to be big. I knew my destination and I didn't give up. So patience, hard work, like work hard, kill yourself.
And
if
vision.
If you believe your future will be better, then don't sleep now, because you sleep now, you will never get there. So get to work and work restlessly. Voila. Believe in yourself. Don't give up.
Absolutely.
And then be determined, because my determination also took me
Your
here.
determination was key, and vision, because opportunities come in front of you and sometimes you miss them when you're distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
Haira, thank you immensely for this session of business talk, because this is what it's about from your experience. And most importantly, we're highlighting women throughout this month of March, and Haira's story is so inspirational. We had to have her here to strengthen you. But right now it's time for us to wrap up the program today. We're going to do that with a commercial break and maybe some sweet music to exit out. But again, thank you, Haira.
Thank you, Patience. Thanks.
And happy weekend to you all.
Thank you.